people of the Jews were the hindrance to it, for getting it done. And I was trying to figure out, well, why didn't God do the same thing that he did for Paul, to Saul, you know? Why didn't he do that to Hitler? I question. I ain't going to answer yet. I'm still waiting. But very good, and I like that. The idea is that we challenge it. Now, there are two sides to it. One is the intention of Saul was correct. He really, really believed he was doing God's work because he was following the hierarchy who represented God. But as I said before, I'm asking my question, myself, there are other people who will think they were following God and following the hierarchy, and God didn't do the same change, you know? I was like, why don't God didn't change that also? Or that person, give them the same kind of experience, or lead them in the correct path, just like how we lead Saul. Because even as he dealt with Saul on that road, Saul still had a choice. Right? He still had a choice. Didn't tamper with his agreement, but he showed him. And that's good. And sometimes we're wondering, you know, like, Lord, why don't you just stop me, my tracks, and show me too? You know? But the intention and the passion was in the direction of these people are hampering God's work. Because as far as the high priests, the people who he gets his hierarchy from, they represent God. That's what it says. His intention was in the right place. So I'm using that as an argument that maybe that's why that went through with Paul and even with Jeremiah. And there are other people too. David, the same thing. Daniel, their intention were very good, because what happened there is that they made a decision. I ain't touching that. This I'm going to show that this what we're taught from our culture is actually more nutritional or better. And God decided to use by his own will. So yes, I prefer people to be led by God, as I say, freely. You don't have to really train. But we only do it because, I'm only doing this because a lot of people have discovered the reason why we can't get to where we're going is because we have been taught some things to think a particular way, that we can't even hear God correctly. So when he says certain words, we hear something else because of the concepts that we develop. So that if God say, okay, now it's time to resign and go and set up shop, he can't say that because you want to rebuke the devil because you want to know who will want you to leave your job that's paying for your rent and paying for your mortgage and stuff to go. That can't be God. But to be able to even think along those lines, take work, so that even if God have to say it, you are in the right frame of mind. You know that he's speaking. Because it could sound foreign. Because you're trained, as I said, we were trained to think a certain way. So it's sometimes hard to even hear correctly, I should say. But he's trying to lead. He's trying to lead. So you have to bring different information, bring different things to actually reveal, yes, it's time to move, or this is where I needed to help. Even though they're giving you trouble, there is something I needed to do here. So if you to hear that, it's like, how in the world you want me to walk around these people, among these people who give in so much trouble? Even to hear that, it's challenging. So yes, but I still have a question there too for God. Why you don't do this radical transformation, you know, and confront? Yeah, I still asking that question. But that's the only answer I could give you right now, right? And yes, we can help people with the transition. For those people who want to transition, move from one stage to the next, it can be done. And I think the most important thing is the listening with the right frame of mind. Being really passionate about something, being really want to change something. One of the questions I have even is with this guy, Jonah. Like, but Jonah don't want to do this. Why in the world God forcing him to do this thing? And, you understand? So I'm still asking that question. What is in there that we need to learn that in relation to your purpose? What you're supposed to be doing? Because Jonah, these people wicked, they deserve to die. No way. That can't be God talking. And you can think like that. Right, so yes, there are a few questions there. I agree with you. I agree. All right. So we're good. But go through the area and Pastor, we're working on it. We need to work on it still. We need to ask you questions. We need to get it clear. But even if we don't have to get it, I think we have enough. So that people at least could be guided or led correctly. Right? A lot of I think one of the major setbacks is internal issues. Unforgiveness, challenges with, in the relational area, the way in which we think about God's purpose as being in a four-wall as opposed to actually creating value for humanity. Even that is a whole mental shift. That there is something valuable you're supposed to create for for the masses or for a group. Just thinking along those lines alone is work. All right? So we're good. Go through the areas. I think you have your homework already, right? You have your homework already? I need to go over it again. Repeat it? All right. So the first one had to do with the... I myself have to go over it. The first one had to do with the... Right, the whole issue. Okay. Right, how you know? Right, how you know Jesus' priorities, right? So, priority is one, that's good. And then, of course, right, and of course, look at your time. We want to look at that. We also want to look at the different areas. Remember the culture, the moral systems, the different systems that are available, resources, right. Look at those things that we have. Right, culture of heaven versus the culture of the country we're living in. Morals, difference. Difference in the systems. All similarities. Right? Resources. What resources we have as opposed to resources that heaven have available. The kingdom has available. Those resources, we need to find out what those resources are. What kind of systems. What the security system is from heaven as opposed to the security system in Trinidad and Tobago. What's the differences? Right? Yeah, all of that, yeah. So you have to show those differences in the systems that your government have, primary government have, interviews, and your local government have. And of course, the other one with the mirror, right? That helps. Let me see. Well, right. Well, yeah. The same issue is yes. With the mirror, it's like, how are you like your father? Yeah. Go through that list, right? The list, character list, potential list, right? Go through it. Read the scriptures. Find out the potential. Find out the characteristics that have been displayed that he's talking about, and how am I like that? What adjustments do I need to make? Right? Do I believe that I can actually do that? That he's saying. All right? And if I have any challenges there, we need to work on the challenges, right? Because the aim is to get you to that place, so that you now learn the process, and then as you're dealing with the people who you're ministering to or caring for, you know the process. You know how to interact with them. You know their pain. You know the challenges they will get, because you have been through it, right? You have gone through the steps. So you can relate more effectively, and you can be real to them. Being real. What's that? Yeah, but you remember, we're still focusing that on terms of your purpose, in terms of the things that you think you're gifted in. Yeah, we still want to keep that in line there, because there's still some challenges where people are having with wanting to take care of people, or take care of or preach the word when they're supposed to be sowing wood. Right? So we need to be careful. or mixing mortar. In terms of looking at it as being a work of the Lord, to be able to understand that the gift that God has given you is God's work, in whatever area it is. You may not be called to preach the word. You may not be called to be a preacher. That might not be your calling. Your calling might be to be an artist. But how do you print? So, and of course, eventually we'll go to the stage of how do you bring God's influence through what you're doing, right? That's down the road. But you first have to understand the difference. The fact that everything you do is God's work you're doing. Everything that you have to do. And if it is not, then I need to get out of here. I might be involved in something that He ain't called me to do. I'm spending too much time on it. Right? Like watching too much TV. Okay? So it's to find those little things inside there. Right? Remember also, one of the things, this is not so much homework, but it's something for you. The people that you're ministering to, that you're taking care of, remember, find out things about them. Right? Don't really put that as something that you have a hand up. That's something you have to do. You have to relate with the people who you're dealing with. Find out things about their life. What is in their heart? What is hurting them? Try to get to their pain. What is it that's hurting? What is the pain? What's really there that needs to be resolved or dealt with? You got to get to that. All right? It makes them now find you. It changes the focus. And then you can now direct them to the person who has the solution. So Jesus becomes valuable because there's a pain that's real. So it's not just I should receive Jesus so I could go to heaven. I should receive Jesus because He has provided something that is valuable to me even now and beyond. Right? So that makes it different. Right? So that makes your work more effective, makes it easier. So it's less stress, you know. So, all right. So we good. Oh? Good. Ask the question. I think everybody got the areas already, right? You want us? Everybody got these areas. Everybody got these areas, right? All right, good. I think I gave you this already, right? You want this?
Okay, another exciting and challenging session with Kevin as we challenges our mind and our thoughts concerning the kingdom of God.